Alright, so I have wars and foreign policy. So we all know what a war is, right?
No.
No? You're welcome. No? I'm trying to help you.
I don't know it, Kyle.
Okay. No. So war is an armed conflict between two or more groups.
Oh.
What is it good for?
So there are multiple techniques used to carry out warfare. Wars, and those are known as warfare, the techniques used to warfare. So there's different types of warfare. So we have asymmetrical, chemical, civil. You guys have heard like total nuclear stuff because of history class. Usually results in mass casualties, which is no fun. And most wars have the goal of destabilizing a government, conquering territory, etc. Now, foreign policy. Do we know what foreign policy is?
No.
No? Sure. So it's how a country deals with its international relationships, so that means with other countries, other nations. So it's usually with the goal of like self-interest. So obviously a country wants to benefit itself. So an example that I have is David wants X, but Nazan wants Y, so imagine David and Nazan are countries.
Hey.
So they'll settle in the middle.
I want to live in David.
What?
So the 7-year war, who can tell me how long it lasted?
10.
8 years.
10.
Yeah! No. Oh. So good. So it was between 1756 and 1763. It involved most of the great powers at the time. So Great Britain, Russia, Spain, and France. So the conflict started when Great Britain attacked France. Great Britain attacked France in North America, attacked French territory in North America. So then Great Britain was like, "No, that ain't cool, bro," and they started a war. So Great Britain's side, they won the war, which gave them a lot of France's territory in North America. The war spawned 5 treaties. They all had the goal of like stopping war and keeping peace. Next part to this is, so we know that the novel Perfume takes place in France. France is one of the countries in the 7-year war. And Grenouille was born in 1738, and he leaves to go to... You're lying.
He is.
I googled it, it's true. Am I...
Moving on.
He's a war child.
Hi.
Okay, anyways, so he leaves... 1738? I'm not crazy. So he leaves to go to the mountains during his teen years. So I don't remember specifically what happened in the book, but like, if we assume that he left when he was 18, which is about right, maybe give or take a few years. And so he'd be venturing into the mountains in 1756, which is when the war started, right? So coincidentally, he leaves his cave 7 years later, and we know that the war lasted 7 years, right? So now on to foreign policy during the 1970s. So this was an era of monarchy, and in France, Louis, now you're talking, it's really loud.
I don't understand the whole coincidentally.
Oh, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Just a nice fact.
He stayed there in 7 years?
He's in for 7 years, and the war happened the last 7 years, and he went.
I said that in my presentation, guys.
Oh, snap.
That's so awkward.
Plagiarism.
So what is the significance of thinking that he's 18?
I'm not looking at you though.
Oh, because that would...
Because you're
suggest that he
legal
left
when you're 18.
to go to the caves in 1756.
When the war started.
Oh, got it.
If you have a question, you can raise your hand.
This presentation is just too
Bombastic.
Bombastic.
hard to internalize.
Anyways, so this during the 1700s, it was the era of monarchy, so Louis XIV was in charge of France. At the time, France was a military and economical giant, so kind of like the US is today. Louis's goals were to conquer all neighboring territories, promote French trade, and to expand his army, economy, etc. So pretty much he just wanted to take over like everything.
Who's his?
What?
Louis XIV.
Louis XIV.
Oh.
He was the ruler of France.
Pronoun. Mold.
So yeah, that's pretty much as far as their foreign policy goes, because there wasn't like a government, so to say. It was pretty much just him in charge, and he decided how his country dealt with other countries. So now my first question for you guys is, do you think Gunoi knew there was a war going on, but he decided to hide, maybe out of cowardice? Because thanks to his smell, he could definitely smell the blood, the blood and the gunpowder and all that stuff. So maybe subconsciously he knew there was a war, and then he happened to come out when those smells kind of subsided.
I think like he started getting afraid of people and stuff, and he was very antisocial towards before he went into the cave. So maybe he was catching on to that war vibe going on. So maybe he doesn't exactly know what a war is, but he just knows something bad is happening, and I don't like people anymore, so I'm gonna go hide. So yeah,
I think it's a way for the author to just ignore the 7-Year War.
Yeah.
That's why showing him the cave.
So had he been out,
Yeah,
he probably would
that's-
participate in the war?
Yeah.
Okay, that leads to my second question. Jacob?
Did the war happen in Europe? Or
It was, well, since they were mostly in Europe, it happened in Europe, but there's been fighting in North America too. Yeah, because it also, it also included Russia and like Spain, so they were. Did Justin say where? Yes, I agree. So that was what Alex said. Leads to my next question. So had Gunnar participated in the war, how would his talent have helped France? Yes, Mrs. Lorden.
So, tell me why you think it was out of cowardice that he chose to hide.
Maybe not so much out of cowardice, but like as Alex said, kind of like a fear of the unknown. Because he didn't really.
out of fear,
Yes.
Okay, really? You think he was hiding out of fear?
Yeah, he was scared.
Maybe
of
he-
people.
Okay, I disagree with that comment.
I agree with that.
He was not scared.
Yes, because he was trying to avoid people. Remember, because he's walking in the wherever.
But he was disgusted. He wasn't.
Okay, yeah, he was
Scared of
disgusted.
He didn't like the smell. He thought it was disgusting.
Maybe.
Yeah, but he was
Yeah.
scared of the smell. Like he was
not
terrified of the
scared of the
idea of having
smell,
spent time
Can you was scared? Like,
Laura?
Maybe he was here, but it was just a way to for the author to say how he felt about it.
I agree with Kyle.
Maybe he's like he's just like stick up for people as kind of his at that time.
I don't like this to people.
Yeah, so just how he feels about humans and human nature and what people do.
Keep going, it's good. Keep going.
Karen?
Well, like war, we know like promotes like violence and hatred, and maybe Hanoi just had enough with that feeling, like he's not like appreciated or accepted. So by leaving or like leaving people, leaving the war, the author is probably sending a message that he like Hanoi doesn't like that feeling or that hate or that violence.
So he's like against
And
war.
so he's against war,
Okay.
yeah.
Carly?
Okay, does he mention before the 7 years and after the 7 years that something happened? Because I feel like if he doesn't know that there's going to be a war going into it, okay, it's fine. But when he comes back, he doesn't ask like what changed. He just kind of comes back. He's not really interested in, oh, what did I miss out on? So that kind of makes him like, he doesn't really care about what happens, the world around him. He's not really intrigued
So he's kind of
by that.
indifferent to what's happened.
So I don't know if they mentioned in the book or not, like if after he questions, oh, what happened while I was gone?
No,
or
because he
if-
kind of just gets picked up right away by
Okay,
the guy
then-
with the freedom of
He
pizza.
did that too.
Nice
Yeah, I don't
episode,
think he
right?
really cares about anything that his country has to do. He doesn't care about winning a war. He doesn't care about anything really, because he hates how he's at the bottom of his class. He hates his whole life kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of like what Tony is saying. I think there's a little bit more to it, and I wanted to connect what Karen was saying. Does Kanui really hate violence?
Yes.
And that's why he doesn't.
I don't think it's
participate
violence.
as
He's
a
killing
hero?
people.
No, I mean hatred, like not being.
I mean, he's
loved.
killed women,
You're
so.
obviously killing the enemy. Like,
He needs violence.
So you think he's there? I think there's something better. Say it
Raise your
louder
voice.
as well.
I'm just saying, I don't think he dislikes hatred in general. He just doesn't like being hated himself.
And it goes back to this whole idea of cowardice and fear. It's not like he's afraid of people. And he's not afraid, I don't think he's afraid of the smell. he just feels like they are not him, and I feel like it's a deliberate isolation of himself away from society. He doesn't want anything to do with society. And society is fighting over causes he has no care in the world for. And so he hides out in this cave because he wants to deliberately exclude himself from that kind of human activity and that kind of human interaction, regardless of whether it's positive or negative. Diego,
Yes.
you have your hand
Yeah,
up.
you remember.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, like he doesn't particularly approve of violence or whatever, or like he just like the only violence he like, let's say uses is when he's, you know, killing his victims, or like, you know, or the animals that he's testing on. But that's just because that's his way of getting what he wants. Like it's sort of his method. He doesn't, but like he doesn't do it consciously. Like, okay, I'm about to murder somebody, I'm going to use violence. I like violence. It's just his way of getting to things. Like, because as we've seen, he's like very like he perseveres and he does whatever he can to you know, to reach his objective. So I wouldn't say that he particularly likes violence.
Yes, Diego.
Okay.
I love you.
Okay.
Just one question from that. Would be his wanting to isolate himself from society during that time be in relation to the fact that society is focusing, or the countries are focusing on the war, so he feels like he should take time apart so that he could actually be noticed or use the people to their full extent when they're not around?
What?
I want you to think about, and then if we go back, maybe if we go back to what Kai was saying at the beginning, what is the reason for these wars to begin with?
They want to
Going on?
expand territory.
Expansion.
Yeah,
What does
bro.
that mean for a nation? Why does a nation want to expand?
Show their great power.
To show their great power.
Yeah.
But with
Relate
great
this
power
topic
comes
of
greater.
power to Grenouille
He
at
wants to
this point in time.
he wants to expand his power, so he goes away to figure out new things. How he wants to expand, or the way he sees like how to make a perfume. So he wants to expand that knowledge. And then the same way when he starts saying he's God, I'm gonna have a kingdom when people come and serve me, like nice sense. So it feels like in his mind he's expanding. He's expanding his power.
Okay.
Yo.
Laura.
Yo, I'm a rapper.
Before you used to actually go like, yeah, like this.
Just a rap.
Okay.
You would actually go like,
Are you crazy?
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going.
I think Pauline was trying
Kyle.
to say that, like,
definitely.
he's subconsciously knows that, like, everyone's going to be focusing on the war and focusing on obtaining that power, so nobody, like, he has no chance of obtaining power during that time. That's kind of why.
Yeah.
Maybe he could be isolated.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Like this war has no connection to him. It is a means of power which he will never be able to achieve. Does that make sense?
No, what do you mean?
He can't
Like,
get power.
what do you mean? No, what means of power are you talking about?
Okay, so that external conflict has no personal relevance to his life.
Oh, so it's not gonna help him in any way.
As a low kind of person on the social scale, has zero meaning in relation to that power struggle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And however, him being in his cave and like sipping these odors every day
Sipping?
and kind of
He's sipping.
sipping, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Oh.
he drinks the wine, like he drinks some like wine, right? He sips the odors and takes them in, right? And he then becomes very much like the ruler of his kingdom there, correct?
Yes.
So does that?
That's when he's apologizing to himself to.
Yes. Good connection.
He's what?
Hear that?
I heard Alexander the Great.
I know, so I knew he was great.
Alexander is he's mediocre. I
Yes.
don't want to be you. I don't want to be
Okay.
He's actually pretty good.
Okay.
That was good, Laura.
Keep going, Kyle.
This is Laura. I think I'm done though.
I want X, bro. Where is it? I don't want M.
What?
No one got that.
No.
Ecstasy? I don't want it.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
That was it.
Yay!
That's totally recorded.
Where's Cody?
Definitely.
Wait, pause.
It's recorded.
Yeah.